So someone who worked on this movie seriously loves Lionel Richie. Excuse me, y'all. My dog is, I don't know what the heck. She's just demanding my attention and I'm trying to film this review. So excuse me if it gets a little bit hectic. Okay, so last night, May 10th, I went to go see Shadow Force, starring Kerry Washington and, oh my goodness gracious, I forgot the name of the guy. Hold on a minute while I look him up. Okay, his name is Omar Sy, I believe. I think he plays in that show. Plays in that show called Lupin or something. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this. All right, you guys. So my mind is all like, okay, hold on. Her little face. Okay, so this movie, I saw the trailer for it and I wasn't overly impressed, but I decided that, you know, why not just check it out? I'm in the mood for just some fun action and this looks like a simple enough thing. And I am honestly glad that I took the time to check it out. Is it going to win Best Movie of the Year award for me? No, it absolutely will not. There's quite a bit wrong with it, especially in the final act, but I had a good time. Hey, babe. I'm petting you, sweetie. I'm giving you attention. I had a good time. The theater was pretty packed, actually. And the audience that I was with seemed to have a really good time as well. Especially the people beside me. It was a group of like, I don't know, maybe a younger girl and then maybe a couple girls that were between the age of the adult woman and the younger girl. Anyway, they had fun. One of them was crying at one point because there were some emotional moments in the story. And then I got a good look at her after the movie was done and she was quite a bit younger, maybe a young teen or something. So I could see why maybe she got pretty moved by some of the scenes. I actually liked the story. There were some things that I found a little bit hard to suspend my disbelief on, and I'll get around to that after a bit. But I like the overall story. The basic premise is Kerry Washington and Omar Sy, they had been members in this Shadow Force, this elite, kind of like illegalish team of government assassins. And and they fell in love and they got married, had a kid, decided they wanted out, but they couldn't get out. Mark Strong was the head of this group. And of course, he plays a villain, as you can see in the trailer. And the rules of this group are that you can't get out. You know, you're going to give up your life if you try to get out. They won't let you out. So they're on the run. And they make this decision that Kerry Washington's character is going to go off on her own, leave her family while their child is very young, and take them out. Take out these people that are after them. And I liked that part was explained as to why she was the one to go out to try to take care of these people and not her husband. I personally bought into the explanation that was given. So I appreciated that because I did have some questions like, why is, not that it's bad that the father was staying behind taking care of the son. It would just kind of, you know, it flipped the roles on their head and I was just confused, but they do explain why. And something else that I liked was the chemistry between the two leads. I was convinced that they cared for each other. Their acting seemed pretty natural as they were playing off of each other, their lines. And the little boy who played their son, oh my gosh, so freaking cute. You know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of one of the kids. There's this YouTube family or the YouTube channel that I watch sometimes called the Cabs Family. And they're from England and they're just the cutest. And there's this one little girl, gosh, I can't remember her name, but the father will often take videos of himself in the car with her and she's just singing her little heart out. I mean, ever since she was teeny tiny, like a year or a little bit more, she'd be singing these songs. It was so cute. And this little boy reminded me of that, especially when Lionel Richie would come on, he would sing and oh, it was cute. You have to watch the movie just to see how adorable that kid was. Okay, whatever, I kid, but he was cute. And I liked the story. I liked also the very positive messaging about family and how they would take care of each other. I also like the beautiful portrayal of a father-son relationship. The father was the primary caregiver for the son for a long while because the wife was off trying to take care of the people that were coming after them. I really liked seeing that dynamic, and they had a loving relationship. The kid was very smart. The kid was aware of what was going on. He was aware of this thing about the good guys and the bad guys, you know, and whether mommy and daddy had been bad guys at one point. Anyway, I liked the whole dynamic, and I liked the way the story flowed. I wasn't bored at all. It was about an hour and 40 something minutes, so I felt like it was a decent use of time. I admit that when I went into this, I had a completely incorrect idea in my mind as to how the story was going to play out, and so I was pleasantly surprised to see that those expectations were subverted to some degree. Now, having said all that, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this dog, Jimmy. I forgot to mention that this was directed by Joe Carnahan, who directed Boss Level. And okay, I think she's done with me now. Hold on a minute. I guess she wasn't. I mean, she acts like she wants to get down, but then she just stands there. She heard a noise in the kitchen, you know, which means, uh-oh, food's happening, so maybe I should go check it out. Okay, Joe Carnahan. He directed Boss Level. I said that already. Cop Shop, The Gray, The A-Team. So I like a lot of his stuff that I've seen. I haven't seen everything, but of the stuff of his that I have seen, I've liked it for the most part. And that's probably why I clicked pretty well with this. He was also one of the writers. Sterling K. Brown, as well as Kerry Washington, were two of the producers. There was another one whose name I forgot, but I thought it was decent enough. I looked at the critic scores, you guys, on Rotten Tomatoes, and the official critics have given it's in the 30s. Y'all, I know it's an aggregate score. I understand how Rotten Tomatoes works. But it's not that bad of a movie. Is it stellar filmmaking at its finest or whatever? No, it's not. But I've seen much worse that critics have rated much higher. And I don't completely get their gripes. The audience was fully into it. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is fairly high, a little higher than I think I would personally give it, but I get why people enjoyed it. So let me get around to the things that I had a problem with. And one of those things was the casting of Divine Joy Randolph in the role that she was in. Now, she's a great actor. I loved her performance in The Holdovers. She was a standout for me. She is not convincing at all in this role. She is supposed to be this secret agent type, you know, this CIA-ish sort of, you know, person, whatever. Come on, y'all. Come on. Take a look at her. No, she was not convincing in the role, especially when she got involved in like a firefight and then a physical fight. No, I couldn't buy into that at all. Mark Strong also, while I feel that he was cast pretty well, his character was kind of one-dimensional. He did the best he could with the material that he had, but he was one of those, you know, types of villains. It worked well for purposes of the story, but he didn't have a lot of depth, because it's a pretty simple story. Even though they tried to give it some depth with the dynamic of the married couple on the run with their little kid trying to protect him and all of that stuff. There were also some things that happened in the final showdown between the main characters. The way it played out, the movie was pretty solid for me up until, let's say, the climax of the film. It was pretty solid for me. And then I feel like that section where there's all of this conflict and stuff's going on and all this drama and action and all, I feel like that's where it stumbled the most for me. Everything up until then I felt was pretty solid and enjoyable given the type of movie this was. But then that last act happened and, I was kind of, well, this didn't feel as fulfilling as well as everything up until that point had been. For me, that's one of the weak points in the movie, in addition to the casting of Divine Joy Randolph in the role that she was in. But other than that, it was a fun enough experience. Not necessarily something that you need to rush out to see on the big screen, though I'm glad I did check it out on the big screen. It was an entertaining time with a room full of people who were into the film. And there was some clapping, you know, and some laughter. So it was a nice experience and a satisfying way to spend a Saturday evening. And I'm not disappointed at all that I took the time to check it out, though I do recognize that it's not going to be something that's, you know, it's not like True Lies level. Okay. I'm not going to kid myself, but it's also not bottom of the barrel for me. It was decent enough for what it was, and I'm happy about that. So at this point, that's about all I can think to say about Shadow Force. If you guys check it out, you know, let me know what your perspective is on it. And I think that's about it for this review. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off before she starts getting a little bit antsy again. All right, you guys. Bye.